Hello everyone. Good evening. Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Shall we start our class?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So in our last class, we have discussed network-related concepts, right? What is network? What are the components which are needed? What is IP address, public IP, private IP, different classes, and ports, TCP, UDP, subnet mask, right? All those things. Now today we are going to start VPC. Now, VPC also interaction also are given, right? Okay. Before next class, I have explained what is VPC and subnets, public subnet, private subnet, and how to convert any subnet into public subnet, and what else? That internet gateway, route tables, NAT gateway, Bastion server, right? Those also we have seen. Right, theoretically I have explained all those things. Okay, let me give quick overview of the thing whatever we have seen in our last class. See, VPC, as you know, it is virtual private cloud. That means in cloud, in public cloud we create our own private cloud. This is going to be my own VPC, my own private cloud. In that we give some IP range and all. We create subnets. Mainly we have two subnets, public and private. Public subnet, private subnet. In public subnet, we keep all web servers. In private subnet, we keep all database servers. Okay. No one should access my database servers, right, directly from outside. Then what we do to make any subnet as public subnet, two conditions should be met. Right? First, you have to enable public API. Then you have to provide internet. So what we do, we create internet gateway, and that we connect to route table. That route table we connect to subnet, so that the subnet will get internet. That means every server will get internet. Private subnet also should get internet, right? So that's why what we do, we create NAT. Then we create one route table. Then we attach NAT to this private server. In a secure manner, we are providing internet. If you want to do any R&D in a database server, what you have to do? You need to create one Bastion server in public subnet. Okay, that database of SSH port you have to open to Bastion. And every server should, every database server should pull internet from web server. Every web server should pull data from database server. That's why we are going to open one more port, that is MySQL, to entire subnet, right? And this web server's SSH port, I'll open to myself or my team members. This HTTP, I'll open to all. Bastion servers, only SSH port, I'll open to only myself. Okay, this is what we have seen in our last class, right? Guys, I have explained very, very clearly in last class. Okay, please go through the class once, right? Now what we'll do it practically. We'll see all these things. Okay, let me log into my AWS account. Guys, please respond. Have you gone through our last class, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you did not attend my last class, then you won't understand today's class. If you don't understand today's class, you won't understand tomorrow's class. Till VPC, interdependency is there. Okay, so that's why please go through my last two classes, network class and the VPC introduction class. Okay, otherwise you won't understand this entire VPC. If you don't understand VPC, then there is no use of learning AWS, because VPC is going to play a major role in our project and all. Interview starts with VPC. Remember that. Okay, so let's read now. Okay, so right now I'm in Mumbai region. Let me verify, do you have any servers? Only Linux user. Let me terminate this one. Let me delete everything. Or else, let me choose some other region. Singapore is fine. I mean, actually in Mumbai, how DevOps servers are there, and tomorrow also I need to launch. So let me take a fresh region. See here, I'm in right now in Singapore region. Now, first I'm going to create VPC. First I'm going to create VPC. You can give any name to this VPC. I'm going to give a name, my VPC. Okay. And while creating VPC, you need to assign IP range, right? I'll give 10.0.3.0/16. You can take any IP range, but should be in a private range. Say the 10 series or 192 series. You have private IP range, right? I have given that one, right? I have shown you, right? So you take any private IP range. I have taken 10 series. So here 16 means total big number is 32. From that you subtract 16. So you'll get 16, 2 power 16. So these many IP addresses you get. That means these many servers you can launch inside this VPC. 2 power 16 number of servers you can launch inside VPC, so that every server will take one IP address from this range. Okay. Now here go to services. Under networking and content delivery, you can find one service, that is VPC. Click that. Earlier that used to be older dashboard. Recently they have just modified this dashboard. But options are almost same, no difference and all. Just a few modifications have been taken place, but that's okay. Those are not so difficult. Okay. Now here you can see it is already showing one VPC, some subnets, one root table, internet gateway, network ACL, something, security groups, right? So many things it is showing. So these are default things. These are default things. So default things I'm going to explain at the end of VPC class, at the end, the purpose of all default things. So you can ignore them as of now. Now I'm going to create my own VPC. So here go to your VPCs. Whatever you can see, this is the default one. Okay, that you can find in your account also. Now I'm going to create my own VPC. So here you can see create VPC. Now give any name to this VPC. I'll give my VPC. My VPC. Any name, that's up to you. Then you have to give IP range. Here you can see. CADR, group of IP addresses we call CADR, right? Here 10 dot. See, they are recommending us to take IP range in 10 series. You can see 10. Okay. 10.0.0.0/60. Okay, I'm taking this one, 60. This will be given by your IT teams, network teams. They will give this IP range. Fine. Now see here, recently AWS started supporting IPv6 also. IPv6, but nowadays we haven't started using IPv6 yet. We are using IPv4 only. That's why you make sure that this is selected. No IPv6 required. That means I don't want any IPv6. I want IPv4 only. Then coming to tenancy. Here you can see two things they are showing. One is default and dedicated. Simple. Default means, see, inside VPC, we are launching so many components we are using, internet gateway, route tables and all, right? So these are components, right? So these could be separate dedicated physical components. These could be virtual. You remember in EC2 section, I said the difference between, you remember these instances, dedicated. They keep one physical machine dedicated for you. Okay, if you want on-demand instances, they keep one big physical thing. On top of that, they create some virtual machines. They give, right? Here also, dedicated means whatever components are there, right, inside route table, internet gateway and all, they keep one dedicated component for you. They give that one to you. Default means they keep one big component. On top of that, they create some, if you take example of route tables, they create many route tables. Then they give these route tables to you. These could be used by someone else. This could be used by someone else. Default means shared one. Dedicated means this is dedicated for you. Okay. But say we are using default only. Anyway, security, we are going to apply multiple layers of security. So people, we use default only because dedicated means again cost effective, right? You need to pay more. That's it. Fine. So anyways, the name we have given, right? That name tag automatically it will take. That's it. Create VPC. Okay. See, when you create VPC, by default, you will get two things which are required for us. Those are, one is route table. See, inside VPC, automatically we got one route table. You can see. And also one NACL we got. I'll tell you later on what is NACL. So just remember one thing, that when you create your own VPC, in that by default, there will be one route table. By default, there will be one NACL. Just remember these things. So these are the details of that VPC that you created. VPC ID and all. Okay, go back to VPCs. Okay, these are what that we created just now. This is IP range 10.0.0.0/16. Then after that, we need to create subnets, right? Let's create two subnets. One subnet, one more subnet. I'll give range 10.0.1.0/24. Again, these will be given by your network teams. 10.0.2.0/24. So when they give any IP range, from that you should understand three things. That IP address is coming under which class, whether it is public or private IP, and that is coming under which class, and how many IP addresses we are reserving. Okay, so these things you must know. That anyways, you know, right? Yeah, so let's create two subnets. You know, right, when we create any subnet, by default, that is of private in nature. By default, subnets are private subnets. So that means as of now, both are private subnets only. Both. So let's create two subnets. Go to subnets. Yeah, these are default subnets which are available in default VPC. You can see these are default VPC. In this default VPC, these default subnets are available. As I said, default things will be discussed later on. So just ignore them as of now. Now I'm going to create my own subnets. So click here, create subnet. Now you are creating this subnet in which VPC? My VPC. Select VPC. Now you give any name to that subnet. That part I'm going to tell you. I'll give name, but I'll tell you what kind of convention that we are following. The naming convention that we are following in our companies. See, while creating subnet, you have to choose availability zone. You know, right, in Singapore region, we have total 3 availability zones. In Mumbai, also 3 availability zones. Okay, so you have to choose any availability zone in which you want to create your subnet. You can choose any one. I'll choose one here. To this subnet, you have to assign IP range 10.0.1.0/24. Just give that range 10.0.1.0/24. Done. See, if you don't use subnet mask, then it will throw error. So I'm giving 10.0.1.0, right? Try to create subnet. See, what is this? It is saying that, hey, it must be valid IPv4 CIDR. Must be a group having subnet. That's why you have to give subnet 24. Then see, automatically that will be displayed. You can select or just you keep it like that. Fine. I have went IP range. I have selected availability zone. I have selected VPC in which that should be created. And now coming to naming convention. See, you can give any name, guys. That is up to you. But generally in companies, this is how we are giving. First, you copy IP range and paste space hyphen space, and you give that availability zone name AP hyphen Southeast. Southeast hyphen 1 year. AP Southeast 1 year. Done. That's it. Create subnet. You can change. Name is something that you want, whatever you want, you can give. That's up to you. But generally in companies, we are using these names. Create subnet. Okay. So our subnet is ready. Right. If you close, you can see all three. I mean, whatever we created just from that you can see. So in the same manner, I want one more subnet. So let's do it. Create subnet in my VPC. You can choose any availability zone. In one availability zone, you can create any number of subnets. Just to avoid confusion, I'm going to choose sender availability zone. IP range 10.0.2.0/24. Okay. Again, name, give IP range, space, hyphen space, AP hyphen Southeast hyphen 1B. Okay. That's it. Create subnet. See, so far we have created two subnets. Okay, two subnets. As of now, both are private subnets as of now. But I need to make one subnet as public subnet. Correct? As per our discussion in last class, where I want to launch my web servers so that everyone can able to access. So if you want to make any subnet as public subnet, two conditions should be met. The first one, you have to enable public IP. Okay, so I would like to convert this first one, 10.0.1 series, this one as public subnet. So first I'm going to enable public IP. Let's enable. Select that subnet. Actions. Modify auto SN IP settings. You can say. Select that. And here, enable auto SN public IP. Just check this. That's it. So that we have authorized internet gateway to SN public IPs. Now save. That's it. Now, whatever server you launch here, that will have, anyways, it will have one private IP. Apart from that, it will have one public IP too. Just remember that. To verify whether you enabled or not, how to verify? Just scroll towards right. Here you can see auto SN public IP we have enabled, but our private subnet not enabled. See, these are our subnets. Just now we have enabled that, so it is yes. For other subnet we did not enable. For other default subnets, you can see all are yes. Oh, don't worry, that default part completely I will explain later on. That's it. Subnets are ready, and one condition is over. Second condition, that we need to provide internet access, right? So for that we need to have internet gateway. Let me create one internet gateway, and that I'm going to attach to my VPC. Okay, go to internet gateways. Here, these are default internet gateway, whatever you can see, which is attached to default VPC. Fine. Now I'm going to create my own internet gateway. Create internet gateway. Give any name to this. I'll give my internet gateway. My internet gateway. That's it. Create internet gateway. Done. But see, internet gateway is ready, but right now it is in detached state. So we haven't attached this one to any VPC. Okay, see, even if you go back, yeah, this is our internet gateway, right? So yeah, if you click that, you can see again. It is not attached. Anyways, that option you have seen, but if you want to attach, see what we need to do. we need to attach internet gateway to our VPC, right? So how to attach? Simple. Select that internet gateway, whatever you created. Go to actions. Sorry, which one we selected? Root tables. Oh, sorry. See, we should select internet gateway. You can say internet gateways. See, this is default internet gateway, which is attached to default VPC. This is my own internet gateway, which is not attached to any VPC yet. So what you do, select this internet gateway, actions, attach to VPC. Which VPC? Here, only my VPC. Because default VPC is already engaged with the default internet gateway, right? So the vacant one is only my VPC. So to that, I'm going to attach my internet gateway. Now attach. That's it here. We attach it. Fine. You know, right? You can't connect internet gateway directly to subnet. You cannot connect. That pipes, the example we have, if you want to attach two pipes, you need to have one joint, one holder, right? Which holds that two pipes together tightly. So here also what we need root table. One end of root table will connect to internet gateway, other end of root table will connect to this subnet. So let's create one root table. Go to root tables. As you know that, see, that's what I said, right? They have modified few things. That's why new options we can say. So they have modified this console also a little bit. Fine. So fine, no problem. Here you can see, you can find two root tables. Till now we did not create any root table, but still you can see two root tables. You know, one is default root table, which is there in default VPC. And when we created our own VPC, that time we got one root table, which I've shown you, right? By default, you got one root table and NACL. That is this form. That means when you create any VPC, by default, you'll get one root table. That is this one. So the first one is default root table of default VPC. Second one is default root table of my own VPC. Now I'm going to create my own root table for my VPC, new root table. I don't want to use default. Later on, we'll make use of this one. But as of now, I'm going to show you how to create a new root table. Create root table. Here you give any name to this root table. This root table I'm going to attach to internet gateway, right? That's why I give meaningful name, internet root table. So here give any name. Internet root table. Which VPC you are creating this root table? This root table you are creating in my VPC. That's it. Create root table. My root table is ready. Okay, go back to root tables. See, just now we created our own root table. This is ready. Now what we have to do? One end of root table we need to associate with subnet. One end of root table we need to associate with subnet. Okay, so let's read. Select your root table. You can see subnet associations, right? Click that option. Here, edit subnet associations. So which subnet you want to join? You want to connect. I would like to connect this first subnet, 10.0.1.0. This subnet I would like to attach to root table. So here select that particular subnet that you want to attach to root table. 10.0.1.0, right? Selected and save. That's it. So just now we attach subnet with root table, right? And what about other end? This end, I need to attach root table with internet gateway. Okay, that means for internet gateway, target is going to be my, for my root table, target is going to be my internet gateway. Okay, so let's connect it, root table with internet gateway. So select the same root table. You can see your roots. Select that root, edit roots, click here. No. Yeah, don't worry about the default entry. Just ignore. Now click here. Now let's add one root. See, for my root table, target is going to be my internet gateway. right? So here you can see target. Here, when you click here, automatically you can see so many options. Here you select internet gateway. When you click on internet gateway, whatever internet gateway that you have created, the name will be populated here. You can see, select internet gateway. Then come into destination. Okay, see, guys, already we have seen, right? IP address, different classes and all. But you in that reserved IP addresses, class D, class E, and also 127 range. Those are reserved. Apart from that, there is one special IP, guys, that is 0.0.0.0. This is special IP. Okay. This is a first IP. If you give 0.0.0.0/0, that means we are opening port to everyone in this world, everyone. Okay. When you see while opening port, if you open port for this range, that means you are opening to entire world. Everyone can able to access. This is open to all. Suppose if I give one IP, 127, 121, okay, 190 something, so okay, let's take public. 13 dot, suppose this is a web server. I'm opening this port to 13.0.2. something. This is my laptop's IP. That means I'm opening this port to only my laptop. But if you are opening port to this range, this entire range, that means you are opening to everyone in this world. So just remember, whenever you see this IP, all. That is one meaning. Second, one more meaning is there for this IP. Whenever you want internet, whenever any component is dealing with internet, there, if at all it is asking to enter IP address, there you have to give this IP. So it means all, opening all, and also internet. It deals with internet. If you want internet, you have to give this IP. So here, my internet gateway is dealing with internet. Correct? It is dealing with internet. That's why here you have to give that IP, 0.0.0.0/0. Okay, blindly mug it up. Whenever something is dealing with internet, there, if it is asking for IP, you have to give this IP, 0.0.0.0/0. Just mug it up. Okay, that's it. Save changes. Done. So now see here, now my subnet is getting internet, right? It is getting internet from here. Now, what I said, if you want to make any subnet as public subnet, two conditions should be met. First, you have to enable public IP and you have to provide internet. Both are satisfied, correct? Yes. Now I can say this subnet as public subnet. Now only. Now only it is a public subnet. Got it? Fine. See here, how many IP addresses we get here? 24 is there, right? That means 32 minus 24. That is 8. Right? 2 power 8. That means total 256 IP address we get. That means you can launch 256 number of instances in this subnet. Every instance will take one IP address from this range, 256 total. So every IP address should be 10.0.1 series. After that, it may take one. This instance may take 0.1.10. This may take 10.0.1. Some 49. That last number might get changed, but remaining 3 should be in this series. Okay, 256. That means 0 to 255. 10.0.1.0 to 10.0.1.255. Total 256. Okay, those many number of instances we can launch. So remember this number, 24 means 256 IP addresses we get. Here also 256, right? Okay, let's verify that. Go to subnets, select any subnet, scroll towards right, towards left. Yeah, what is this? Available IP addresses. That should be 256, right? But why they are showing 251 only in our subnets? Actually, that is 256 only, right? 2 power 8. That is 256. But why are they giving 251? That means 5 are missing, right? 5 IP addresses are missing. So what are those missing IP addresses? Let's try to understand. Here, go to Google and you type here, that is reserved IP address in AWS. Yeah. Reserved IP address in AWS. Go to this first website. Here you can see VPC and subnet sizing. Click that. If you scroll down, yes, these are reserved IP addresses. Apart from class D, class C, and 127, okay, there are few more reserved IP addresses which are specific to AWS. Okay, when you create any subnet, when you assign any IP range, in that IP range, 5 IP addresses will be reserved. That's why actually we should get 256. But what it is showing that available IP addresses are only 251. That means 5 are missing. Those are the reserved IP addresses. Let's see what are those. The first one, 0th, second, third, fourth. 0, 1, 2, 3. And the last one, 255. See, they have taken this IP range example, 10.0.0.0. But in our case, our first subnet is having 10.0.1.0/24. Second subnet is having 10.0.2.0/24. So what it's saying, first 4 IP addresses, that means 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.255. These are reserved, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 255. So these first 4 and this is reserved. Here also 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.255. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 255. These are reserved. Okay. So why are they reserved? Why? See guys, not only in AWS, inside outside also, when you are giving any CIDR block, whenever you are giving any IP range to any subnet, even outside also, first IP and last IP are anyways they are reserved in any range. Okay, when you are giving any range to any subnet, subnets are not only there in AWS, even network teams also they deal with subnets, outside AWS, when they want to create separate network block. So for that, when they assign any IP range, in that first IP and last IP are anyways they are reserved. First IP is network address, last is for broadcast. Network address means, it is kind of, leader IP address to all follower IP addresses. It shows a path, network path to remaining IP addresses. Okay, don't worry about that. That is reserved. Just remember that one. Network team, they will take care of that. But actually, why it is reserved? This is a leader IP address for all follower IP addresses. It shows a path towards network. That's why it is reserved. The first one. Last one is broadcast for broadcast purpose. Entire class D. Class D is reserved for multicast. Means 1-2 selected, communication. But this is broadcast. If you want to have 1-to all, if you want to have this kind of communication, generally they use this IP range from subnet. Okay, fine. These are common outside also. 0 and last one, anyways they are reserved. In fact, outside also. Okay. But apart from that, these are reserved for AWS. Mainly, these are specific to AWS. Okay. So one IP address is reserved for VPC router. You remember this subnet, we are attaching one root table, right, to this subnet. Root table is also one network component. Network component means it should have one IP address, correct? So that IP address will be taken from this one. One is for VPC router. Second one is for DNS server. The purpose of DNS is to assign a name, to a server. See, I told you that initially in our first classes, EC2 classes, if you want to access your instance, you have to use either IP or DNS. That's what I said. IP or DNS. So DNS is a name that we assign to any server based upon the IP. If IP gets changed, DNS also will be changed. So DNS is a name that we assign to IP. Okay, So see, when you launch any server, for that server, by default, you'll get one IP. Apart from that, you will get DNS name also. In fact, by using that only, we logged into our machine, right? So who is assigning this DNS name? AWS server. AWS DNS server is responsible to assign a DNS name to these servers. I'm repeating. AWS DNS server, which is hidden in nature inside VPC, which is responsible to assign a DNS names to our servers. When you launch any server, that will have one DNS name apart from having IP address. So AWS DNS server is responsible to assign DNS name, right? Okay. So that's why this IP address is reserved for AWS DNS server. Okay, DNS server. So for every subnet, there will be one AWS DNS server will be there. So that DNS server will take the IP address. Okay. So that is reserved for AWS DNS server. Then third one is reserved for future use. It's kind of standby. If at all AWS team, if they want any IP address to use for standby, kind of Stephanie to your vehicle, okay, they use this IP. So in a simple terms, for every subnet, in every subnet, 5 are reserved. One is network address, the last one is broadcast, and one is for AWS AWS router, another one is AWS DNS server, third one is standby. That's why these are reserved. That means actually we should get 256, but we are getting 251 only because of these reserved. So now if you want to launch any instances, you can launch only 251. Okay, you can launch maximum 251 only, so that every instance will take one IP address from this range. Okay, you can't launch 256 instances. You can launch only 251. Okay, just remember that. Now coming to next one. So two subnets are ready. One is public and one is private subnet. Fine. In each subnet, I can launch 251 servers in each subnet. Okay. Now what we do, let's launch one server each. I'm going to launch one EC2 instance in public subnet. Let's name that one as a web server. And I'm going to launch one database server. This is also an EC2 only. Let's name that one as database server. Okay. Let's launch 2 instances in each subnet. In one more subnet. Now go to EC2. This EC2 dashboard, right? Launch one instance. Amazon Linux. T2 micro. Now this section is very, very important. So earlier we did not touch this section, right? Earlier in previous classes, correct? But for the first time we are going to touch this section. This instance you want to launch in which VPC? In my VPC, correct? My VPC. So that's why in this drop down you select my VPC. Okay, this instance we will be launching my VPC. In my VPC, you want to launch in which subnet? Because you know in my VPC we have 2 subnets, right? Okay, I would like to launch this one in my public subnet, that is 10.0.1 series. So here we choose 10.0.1. Okay. Now see what they are showing here. 251 IP addresses are available, correct? Yeah, 5 are reserved. That's why 251 I can use. Now auto SN IP settings. See this option already be enabled, right? In VPC level it's a public IP. Public IP already I have enabled, right? If you don't enable there in VPC section, you can enable from here also. So you have 2 choices. Either you can enable from VPC section or you can enable from here. If you enable already from there, then it will show that yes, it is already enabled. If you forget to enable there, you can enable from here. That's it. Now I would like to make this one as a web server, correct? So let me run some web server related commands. You know, right? How to make any server as web server. Let me get that web server script and I'll paste there so that I can convert that one into a web server. You can see these are the commands, right? Let me paste. You know the purpose of all these commands, right? Okay. So here, this instance is going to be my web server, which is being launched in public subnet. Now next, give any name. I'll give as web server. Web server. Next. Configure security group. Okay. Now, what are the ports that I need to open? First, let me give any name to this one. I'll give web security group. Web security group. Now, what are the ports I need to open? As I said, I want only myself should be able to go inside this web server if at all required, myself or only my company employees. So as of now, I would like to open this SH port only to myself. Okay, SH I'm opening to only myself. HTTP, everyone should be able to access my website. Everyone in the world. That's how I'm going to open to. That means SH port I'll open to only my laptop's IP address. HTTP port I'll open to everyone's IP. So here SSH, here you can see directly you can click here my IP. Automatically it will take my laptop's public IP. So if you want to verify, come and verify here. Just type here. What is my IP? My laptop's public IP is this one. You can see 103, 204. This is public IP. Yes, automatically it is taking that one. See, same public IP, right? And 32 means only one IP. 32, you know, right? Count means only one IP. Why I'm opening to my laptop's public IP? Because my laptop is somewhere outside of VPC, right? In different network. That's why I'm opening to public IP because it is outside. That means here from my laptop, I can go inside my web server to run some commands through SH. And HTTP I'm opening to all. That means everyone can able to access website. Only myself, I can go inside my server to run some commands, but everyone in the world can able to access website, right? So how to read? Open HTTP to all here. HTTP to here directly you can make it all, or else you can keep it like this also, custom also, because here the main thing is IP address. You can see this is IPv4, this is IPv6. Forget about IPv6, IPv4 you can see 0.0.0.0/0 means everyone, right? So you can keep it like that. I'm opening this one to all, or else you can select and you can keep it anywhere. Here also it shows the same range. So your focus is not on anywhere or custom. Focus is on IP range. This is important. See why for actually when we use custom, actually, if you want to type any IP address manually, if you want to give any range separately, that time we keep it custom. So you select anywhere. Okay. You can keep custom and you can give 0.0.0/0. You can give. Still it is like opening to everyone, right? Okay, let me keep it as anywhere. So SH I'm opening to only myself. HTTP I'm opening to everyone, right? That's it. Review and launch. Launch. Let's create a new keypad. Okay, web. Today's date is 1, right? 1st September. 1 web. Okay, 1 web. Now download keypad and launch instance. View instance. Okay, see why it is showing 1, that means 1 keypad. Okay, fine. 1 web. This is my web server. Okay. Now let's verify whether everything is ready or not. Okay, meanwhile, let me launch one more server. Okay, database over in which subnet, private subnet. Launch instance. Amazon Linux. T2 micro. No, number of instances 1. But see here, I'm going to launch this one in which VPC? My VPC, that too, which subnet? Private subnet. 10.0.2 series. And you know, right? For private subnet, we did not enable public IP. That's why it is showing disabled. And we should not enable also. Okay. And it is not going to be my web server. That's why I'm not going to type any commands here. Next. Next, give any name. DB server. Guys, just assume this one as a database server. I'm launching one normal EC2. As of now, assume this is a database server. Later on, when I talk about database section, then you will understand how we create database server and all. Next. Okay. Now, what are the ports I need to open? DB security group. What are the ports I need to open? Simple, guys. Assume that we have installed MySQL package in my database server. We have installed MySQL. So whatever package, database package that you installed, that port, that particular port, you have to open to entire subnet. Actually, this port you have to open to this web server. So that web server should be able to pull data from database server. To pull data from database server, that port should be open to that particular web server, right? See, if you want to go to this room, the door should be open, right? Correct. But later on, I will launch many web servers. That too by using auto scaling. So every web server should be able to pull data from database server. So that's why I'm going to open this port for entire subnet. Like this. Because I know that whatever server you launch, that will take one IP address from this range only, private IP. I'm opening this port to web server's private IP because inside one network, right? So every server will take private IP from this range only. That's why I'm opening this MySQL port to this entire public subnet range itself, so that every web server can able to pull data from database server, right? Now, which port you need to open? MySQL. You can see MySQL / Aurora. Okay. MySQL. Okay. This port, MySQL port of database server, I need to open to public subnet range 10.0.1.0/24, right? So here now keep it custom, and here you type IP range manually 10.0.1.0/24. Got it? Now I hope you understand. MySQL port of database server I have opened to entire public subnet. MySQL port of database server I have opened to entire public subnet. That's it. Yeah. Now review and launch. Launch. Let's create a new key pair. 1 DB. Download key pair and launch instance and view instances. Two servers already. Now let's verify whether everything is fine or not. See what I said. Whatever server you launch in public subnet, that will take one private IP. From where? From this range. That's what I said. So it should have 10.0.1. After that could be any number. Correct? Let's go and verify. Web server, private IP 10.0.1.9. Correct? 10.0.1.9. So whatever IP range we have given, from that only to 10.0.1. After that, it may take any number up to 255. Okay. So it took 9. That is fine. Now, since we enabled public IP here, That's why this instance should have one public IP also. Right? That is not in our hands. It may take any public IP. Verify. Yes, it is having public IP. Right? Done. What about this database server? This also should have one private IP. Private IP only, guys, not public IP. Okay, that should have 10.0.2 series. Go and verify. 10.0.2 series. After that, it may take any number. Okay, 187. And it doesn't have public IP because we did not enable. Yes, you can see. No public IP. Done. That's it. That is how we do it. See what I said. Outsider, see, first of all, I can go inside this out. This is me. Let me change the color. Blue color is right. These are customers. Blue color ones. A, B. Black color is right. That is me, my laptop, Sai. Okay. Now only myself, I should be able to access my web server. Correct? Happily, I can access. Because see, from here to here, my home network. Through that, I'll come, my request will come through root table and will go. And SH port I have opened to myself and I know the address to which server I need to access. So happily I can access my web server without any problem to run some commands, only myself. So how to do that? Simple, select web server, connect, SH client. See, sometimes they won't give DNS name, but that's okay. We need either DNS name or IP address. You can see by using this IP, I'm going to access this instance. So this is public IP because we are coming from outside, right? Yeah, copy username @ IP address. Open mobile external. Username @ IP address, public IP. Then upload that PEM file. One web. Open. Yes, it will allow me to access. You can see right now I'm inside my instance. It allowed me, right? Everything is good. Now everyone should be able to access website. See, only I can access the server through SH. Now, suppose if I share this username and its IP address and that PEM file, you can't access. It won't allow because I have opened this one to only myself, SH to myself. Okay. Now everyone should be able to access website. Now get the IP address, public IP, paste. You can see. So I'm typing this IP address in your chartboard. Okay, even if you try, you can able to access my website because I have opened that port to everyone in the world. Okay, that is fine. Now, can I access my database server? No, you cannot access your database server. I cannot access my database server. Because see, to access any server, first we should have public IP. That is the address. Okay, but it doesn't have any public IP because we did not enable any public IP. That is the first reason that why I can't access my database server. Why we need public IP? Because I'm outside. I'm coming from outside, out of network. That's it. Second thing, we need that path. See, we need address and also we need the route. The road also, by using which I can reach out to my address. That route also is not there. See, if you had connected like this, then you would have accessed. But you can't access because there is no address also. So, see here, there are two reasons as of now that you cannot access database server. The first one is it doesn't have public IP. It doesn't have internet access. Okay, it doesn't have internet access. And one more reason is there that it doesn't have ports enabled. SH port, it doesn't have port enabled, right? That's it. That means, first of all, I don't know the address, where to go. Even though if I know the address, but the house doors are closed, that's why I can't go inside the house. And also, first of all, I don't know the path. I don't know which route to follow. The road is not available. See, to that house, road is not available and doors are closed. And also, I don't know where is that house itself. Okay, that's because of these three reasons, I cannot access my database source from outside. If you want to verify, you can verify. See here. Database server, let's try to connect. See what they are giving? They are giving private IP address that we used to connect internally from inside to inside. But I'm outside. My laptop is somewhere in Pune. Okay. But this VPC is in somewhere in Singapore. So how can I access by using private IP? It won't allow, right? See, that's why you may not be able to connect to this instance. Because port also not open. Okay, even if you try hard, you can't. Let me verify. Copy this one and SH, new session, SH, here paste. Okay, then that take that private key. 1 dB. It won't allow, guys. It will throw error. Because first of all, you can't use private IP to access this instance. Because I'm somewhere outside, right? So it will definitely throw an error. You see, it is not working, right? That is how. Okay, that is how actually it works. Understood? Yeah, these are the few things that we discussed today. And now the problem is, see, now I can't access my database from outside. That's why it is throwing an error, right? Right, so you can see it is throwing an error. I can't, but I need to access. That is what I want. Because if at all any issue is there in my database server, I need to go inside the database server, I need to troubleshoot. And I need to provide internet access also to download any package and all. So how to do that? That we are going to see in our tomorrow's class. So here in tomorrow, what I'm going to do, tomorrow I will recreate this entire infrastructure again. That's why even if you have any doubts in today's class, don't worry, those will be clarified in tomorrow's class. Because tomorrow, I'm going to recreate this entire thing for first 10 to 15 minutes. On top of that, I'm going to explain that Bastion server, NAT gateway and all, connection, all those things. Got it? That's why dependencies are there, tight dependencies are there. If you don't revise one class, you may not understand other classes. That's why after every class, you please go through that class once again. Okay? Yeah, fine. Now, okay, so after class, we can terminate these things, right? If you want to delete these things, just two things first. Deletion steps. If you want to delete, first you terminate EC2 instances, both web server, database. First you terminate these instances, then you delete VPC. That's it. If you delete VPC, automatically internet gateways, route tables, whatever you created, subnets, everything will be deleted automatically. So first you delete EC2, both, then VPC. That's it. So that everything will be deleted automatically. I will delete, but after clarifying your doubts. Okay. So fine, guys. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
Hello, sir.
Before that, you understood today's class?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So why we choose availability zone in subnet?
See, you have to create subnet in any one availability zone. Any one availability zone.
And we have to choose availability zones while we creating the VPC.
See, no. Here one small concept is that is red color is there, right? This is my region. This is Singapore region. Singapore. Okay. In that we have availability zones on. Right. Subnet will be created in availability zones. Okay. VPC is here. One second. Clarify the things. Just 1 minute. Red color things are there. These are availability zones. availability zone A, availability zone B, availability zone C. This is region and these are subnets. Sorry, this is region. Singapore is a region. These are availability zones. Region. Now, VPC that you can create in one region, that means black color is my VPC. Don't go exactly as per the diagram. This is my VPC. So inside VPC, create subnets. That subnet you have to create in availability zones. You can create any number of subnets, right? That must be in availability zones. So VPC is a region specific. Subnets are availability zone specific. Okay, that is
Yes. Yes, sir. I got it.
fine. Any more doubts from anyone?
Sai, while enabling the internet gateway, why we have used 00? We can give the subnets IP also, no?
No. I said internet gateway is dealing with internet, correct?
Yes.
Wherever internet word is coming, blindly how to give that IP 0.0.0.0. Just mug it up. There I said, I think you missed that point. Wherever internet word is there, you have to give that IP. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, if instead of opening SSH port to your IP only, if I open IP SSH for everyone, so everyone should be able to.
Yes, everyone can access. For example, instead of me, if I open to all, then if I share these credentials, right? IP at a public IP, this username is user, and this key that I use to launch. Okay, if I share this one to you, also can access physically. You can run some commands. Everyone in the world, but now you can't. Why? Because I have opened to only myself.
Yes.
Got it?
Yeah, got it. And say in one in one region we can have many VPs.
In one, yeah, in one availability zone you can create any.
No, in one region.
Yeah, in one region you can create any number of VPCs.
Okay.
Simple example. In Singapore already we have default VPC. Apart from that, we created our own VPC. So total 2 VPCs are there, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Got it.
Sai, is there any can we take the backup of our VPC? Means all configuration backup, means what routers IP, what?
No. Backup is only for data. See, first of all, backup is only for the data, right? So anyways, AWS is giving assurance that you will never lose the data. So there is no need to take any backups and all. But if at all you want to take backups, yes, for instances, you take backup in the form of snapshots that already we have seen, right?
Yeah, but Sai, there's any automatic it will happen, or we have to take manually, we have to create AM.
Backup you have to take manually. If you know, you have to take manually.
There is no automatic service, is there?
No, there is no automatic service. No.
जैसे हम फिजिकली नहीं कॉन्फ़िगर करते कि ऑटोमेटिक डेली बैकअप हमारा होता रहे सर्वर का
वो है वो डेटाबेस में है नॉट इन इन नॉर्मल
EC2 पे नहीं है क्या
डेटाबेसेस में दैट मींस in database section actually we need to take that backup for data. So actual data we keep in database server, not in web server. Web server we keep just web content that yesterday I explained you, right? That YouTube example in previous class. So data backup should be taken for database. Yes, there we have automatic daily backup mechanism. Okay, so that I'll show you when I explain databases.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I'm just confusing in route table. We can is the default for 2 route table? Like
see, when you launched VPC, that time we got one default route table, but we did not use that one. We created our own fresh route table. Later on, we'll make you the default route table. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. Any more doubts? Yeah.
Why are creating subnets in different regions? Same region also you can create different subnets.
See, subnets, I'm not creating different regions. All subnets are in same region, that is Singapore only. Subnets I have created in different availability zones. No need, as you said, yes, you can create all subnets in one availability zone only, no problem. Just to avoid confusion, I have created in 2 different availability zones.
Okay.
Okay. Any more
Hello,
doubts?
sir.
Yes, please.
The subnet mask number for the whole VPC, it can be, it should be less than the subnet mask number for the subnet.
No. See, this is big cake. In that, this is a piece, right? So cake should be bigger one. Piece should be smaller one. That should be inside that one. How can you have, piece size is bigger than cake size? Not possible, right? It will throw error. Suppose if you want to take a 26, it will throw error. Correct or not? That is
okay.
So while launching the instance for private subnet, public subnet, in the 6th section where we opened the SSH port only for your IP.
Right.
So is it that we have two options? One is for only one IP or all? Can we have two IP addresses?
Yes,
one is you
that
and
time.
one is Hari.
Correct. There we have custom option, is right? Yeah, that we use to open to multiple numbers. That also I'm going to show you tomorrow's class. See, total 3 options you have seen. That is my IP. That means only to me.
Yeah.
Anywhere means to all. But if you want to customize to few IPs, range, then we use custom option.
Okay, so it is there itself while launching the instance.
Yes. Later on also we can. Later on also we can use that. Only I'm going to show you tomorrow's class.
Okay, got it.
Because for database server tomorrow I'm going to open SSH port to Bastion, right? So there I'll show you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir.
So Sai, the whole concept we can call it as a deployment in cloud. The web server.
No, it's not deployment. It is creating AWS infrastructure in cloud. You can call. See, deployment also you can call, but generally the word deployment we use for applications. If you install any application, that we call deployment.
Okay.
But you can use, see, deploying our entire infrastructure in AWS, that you can call, or creating infrastructure from, in cloud, that you can call.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier, these used to be my physical servers, web server database, but now I'm keeping everything in AWS. Got it?
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So let me show you how to delete. Simple. First, you terminate instances. Okay. After terminating only, you can delete VPC. Otherwise, it won't allow you to delete VPC. Remember that. Shutting down. Once it is fine, then you go to VPC here. Select VPC and delete this one. Actions. Delete. So guys, don't delete default VPC. Even if you try hard, it won't allow, but don't even try. Okay. Please don't do unnecessary fingering on default VPC. You select your own VPC and you delete. When you can delete? After terminating.
We can delete it again.
What? You can get, it won't allow first of all, but in some accounts it is, AWS is allowing to delete default VPC. But to get default VPC back,
get it again.
No. If you delete VPC default, to get it back, you can't create by yourself. You need to contact AWS. They will create default. But yes, I heard that recent nowadays they have given one option to create default VPC also. Because default VPC has some different settings. Yes, now that option is there. But don't even try now. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me delete VPC. Actions, delete. See, when you, one second. When you delete, you can see subnets are getting deleted. Root table, internet gateway, everything will be deleted automatically. So type here delete for confirmation and delete. That's it. Yeah, go ahead. Any more doubts? Any doubts?
Can I access that web server through PuTTY? Yeah, mobile only.
PuTTY also you can use, right? Already I have shown you, right, in initial classes.
Okay. Sai, I have one more doubt. If we have not connected the internet gateway, so suppose, and on web server we have allowed 00 for all, then also it will become publicly. No?
Yes. See, you did not connect the internet gateway. That means road is not there to reach out to this location. but you open doors to everyone. Even though if you open to everyone, if road is not there, how come people will come? Correct? If you want to reach to any location, 3 things should be must. One, you should know the address of that location. Then that house door should be open and you should have path. All 3 are mandatory, correct or not?
Yes, yes, understand.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Sai, if we don't have IG, internet gateway and route table, we can still SSH, right?
One second. If you don't have?
Internet gateway and route table, we still can SSH?
No, you can't. Again, the road, see, road is not there, right? How can you SSH? That is not possible. Yeah, just to remind me, tomorrow, I'll show this once R&D. Tomorrow what we'll do, I'll recreate this one again, right? Now, tomorrow what I'll do, I'll disconnect. Then let's try to SSH tomorrow. Then it won't allow. Just do remind me tomorrow, okay?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay, sir.
Lambda is not there, Rahul, it is not there because for that you should know programming language. Yeah, any more doubts?
Hello, sir. In my company, they use actually Cisco Connect. So it is also similar to this. After connecting to that only, I can able to access the application.
No, that is actually VPN.
Oh,
that part also that I will explain later. Okay, VPN we call.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please.
I was trying to delete default policies like permissions.
Default you can't delete.
It was not deleted, but we could see error message delete, not able to delete like that. But it is keep on displaying like that only.
Default policy you cannot delete. You can't delete. Okay.
It's okay. Messages keep on showing still.
Which message it is showing?
Like you can't delete. Delete was failed like that.
Achha, again and again. It's okay. Don't just refresh and all. Maybe that might show for temporary duration. After that, it won't show. Okay. That's not a big issue. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Share your. I got an email. Share your feedback with the AWS and receive $25 AWS credit. Is it?
Yeah. So nowadays we are getting that. No, I'm not sure. You share your feedback, then verify whether money is getting credited or not. Okay. Share.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Sir, we have to learn AWS Lambda or like it is not important?
No, that is not required because I'm not saying that is not important. That is important for those who have programming language background because there we use programming language. Mostly people are using Node.js and all. Let me just show you.
Sir, where it is used in company?
That is actually by writing some script by language, we can create AWS infrastructure. Okay, by writing programming language, we can create AWS infrastructure. Okay, there.
Sai. Hello.
Let me show you. See here. There they use a programming language. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
सही एक्चुअली ऑफिशियल ट्रेड नहीं पूछना था मुझे ये पूछना था कि कोई AWS ऐसी सर्विसेज है जो हमारी फाइल इंटीग्रिटी मतलब कर सके OS लेवल पे
फाइल इंटीग्रिटी करना है
हाँ
फाइल इंटीग्रिटी मींस व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दैट
मतलब कि मतलब कोई भी यूजर जो भी चेंजेस वगैरह कर रहा है फाइल्स वगैरह में तो उसका ट्रैक कर सके
अच्छा यस वी हैव ट्रैकिंग सर्विसेज है क्लाउड ट्रेल इज
बट सर उसमें तो ये है ना कि मतलब जैसे मैं यूजर हूँ आई एम यूजर तो मेरे वो रिकॉर्ड्स ट्रैक करेगा राइट
अच्छा यू वांट टू ट्रैक समथिंग एट एप्लीकेशन लेवल और फाइल लेवल
yes
no for that we don't have
file level
we don't have anything for that we use external softwares that is not related to AWS because they don't know right which file you are using which application you are using so for that we have tracking external softwares out there those you install in EC2 by using them you can track okay no more doubts
no sir
Thank you guys. Thank you all. See you in tomorrow's class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.